up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. So I am back, y'all. Your girl is back with another live stream, and I wanted to chime in on this Tory Lanez situation, y'all. So listen, as you come into the building, make sure you are hitting the like button. As you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Definitely chime in the chat on this whole situation with Tory Lanez. I mentioned him briefly yesterday because of him being, stabbed in prison, child. But there's more to the story. I also post this on my channel in video format. So go and watch that video after this and hit the like on that and share it if you can as well. But baby, there is more to this. I don't know if all of you guys are familiar with this whole Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion situation, but this has been a roller coaster of a ride for Tory Lanez, dealing with this whole alleged shooting incident that most people had, skepticism about, because the story just never added up from the beginning. From the beginning, for me, there are a lot of people who are on Meg Thee Stallion's side, just taking sides, as most women tend to take the female side of the story. But we know that there was holes in this case from the very beginning. So now they're saying there's compelling evidence to show that Tory Lanez did not shoot Meg Thee Stallion. And this could have allegedly led to what happened to Tory in prison, child. So it's a lot going on. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with the story. We're going to, pay attention to what happens to see if this man is released from prison, because there is compelling evidence, which kind of goes with what people were saying in the very beginning, and what a eyewitness who recorded everything testified and said he saw, but somehow that just went under the radar. So I want to know y'all thoughts on it. Definitely chime in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. I see XYZ. What's going on, XYZ? Shout out to you, Successful MD in the building. C. Irvin, what's going on, C. Irvin? Good to see you again. Ryan Wedlow, Cowboy Meech 51. Good day, happy birthday to all the Taurus. Okay. Israelite 1865 in the building. How are you? Derek in the building. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody in the chat, everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, so we're gonna get into this. Also, before we get into the video, make sure you hit the like button as you come into the building. If you are new to the channel and you like the content, go hit that subscribe button, y'all. It is free to subscribe. That definitely helps the channel out. Also, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live. And if you want to support the channel, definitely you can support the channel by first liking the stream and also giving a super chat or cash app to support the channel overall. All right. So we're going to hop into this. I want to pull up the video clip. I'm going to play a little bit of it. Because this is crazy. I saw this last night and I wanted to post it last night, but I just decided to just, come up here today and talk about it and get y'all thoughts on it. All right. So we're going to hop right into the video. Make sure you hit the like button as you come into the building. All right, here we go.
We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes is exculpatory in Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gaston, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representative with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell.
Now, that is important to hear that, because to me, that's almost like the smoking gun, allegedly. So they reached out to Megan Pete's, team or whoever, which is Meg Thee Stallion's team. That's her. That's Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Pete. and they, told, made them aware of the information. And then coincidentally, after that, this man is attacked in prison. Make it make sense. And this is why I spoke on it yesterday, because in my mind, I'm thinking there's a concerted effort to try to shut this man down, in my opinion, allegedly. Because that was an attack to try to shut him down, try to take him out, so because they knew what was coming. Because I don't think that whoever allegedly plan this or set this up wants him out talking. They don't want him out of jail. Getting him locked up was to shut him down, for whatever reason. And so if they don't want him out of jail, they don't want him out talking and saying his side, because that's going to be damaging to so many people, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's not a coincidence that this happened. And I was wondering, it was talking about maybe it was, and then this happened from a guy who has nothing to lose. He's in jail for the rest of his life. He's not getting out. So, I mean, you can put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Let's continue.
Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process. We filed an appellate brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf. The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out, but given that brutal, unprovoked attack, we felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell,
right?
But that he's allowed to go home and recover.
Mm-hmm.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. Mm-hmm. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do.
That's crazy.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting.
Exactly.
2 men break up the fight. 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side.
Right.
The passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting.
Now, this is what we heard early on, and people with logical common sense said, "Oh, okay. I mean, how did he do it when we're looking at what was said?" It's almost as if well, in my opinion, this was a setup. It was a setup, and it was too much back and forth, in my opinion. I say this in the video. It's too much back and forth. Meg Thee Stallion, went back and forth about what it was. First it was glass that cut her, and then it was, he shot her and this and that. It was just too much going on. People who were listening to this case early on figured this out. Most people with sense was saying this man did not do that. Everybody kind of came to this conclusion already. We just here watching it play out, but we already knew and said, hold on, this don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And that everybody already allegedly assumed that the Kelsey girl did it, because there was no way that he did it. But there were people online, women online, just claiming for sure, like they knew, he did it, and protect black women, as if black women don't lie. That's the part that gets me, y'all. These women walk around here and they jump on what a woman says as if she cannot lie. When we saw Meg Thee Stallion lie about sleeping with, having a sexual relationship with Tory. If she lied about that, she'll lie about anything. But my thing is this: if this man gets out of jail for this, and he's gonna, and I saw somebody mention, oh, he owns his rights to his music. Yes. This was allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly for the sake of YouTube, this was a setup, in my opinion. And I hope this man can get out and reclaim his life. He had to go through all of this. Oh, he going to come out and he should be able to sue. And somebody needs to go to jail. If this woman sit up here and lied, had this man in jail all this time, damn near lost his life over a lie, there needs to be a consequence. I think she needs to go to jail for lying, and there needs to be a big lawsuit. He needs a big payout, and they don't want to do that. But this is going to look really, really bad. That you have a man who is innocent in jail, damn near lost his life behind something he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't look good. And so this is just a bit, yeah, stabbed the man 14 times. I mean, he was stabbed in the head. He was stabbed in different parts of his body. It's probably, the grace of God that the man is still alive. They were trying to take him out. All this to cover up the truth. This is insane to me. And I like I said, I saw in the beginning that there was something fishy about this case. And I just was like, come on now, we can't just go out here. You got to look at the evidence. You got to look at what it is and stop letting your emotions take over. And all I saw was women in the comments. Oh my God, y'all don't believe women just believe everything that they say as if they don't lie. That's the problem we're having. And I just think there needs to be somebody needs to be held accountable for this. This is a damn shame. I'm just saying, this is not good, y'all. But the truth shall prevail. And it's unfortunate that man had to go through all of this for this. I hope he gets out and tell his story and that he's protected, because this is ridiculous. The Lucid Experience, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, supporting from yesterday, what streaming app do you use? I like the layout. It's called, what is this? EVMux? I think that's how you pronounce it. EVMux. EVMUX. Thank you, Lucid Experience. I appreciate you for the super chat. Make sure you guys support the channel. All I ask, $5 super chat to support the channel. If you can, I would appreciate it, and it would definitely help the channel. So make sure you are supporting in that way, y'all. Thank you, Lucid Experience. I appreciate you. So then we heard early on that the driver, right, and you said the security guard, the driver, that they saw exactly what happened. I said this way back. Like, he saw everything that happened. Then the man is going to tell you how, all this, the gun residue and all this, everybody was not, it's sketchy. It was sketchy from the beginning. And if you got common sense, you would see that there was something wrong about this case. Successful MD says, sadly, non-famous men get railroaded daily. Exactly. And that's unfortunate. Maybe they don't have the support or the backing or the lawyers to support them and help them in these cases. This is why I say men have to be careful, because the majority is not on y'all side. And this is why I say you, as especially black men, y'all have to be careful with how y'all move, because depending on your situation and circumstances and where you are in life, you could be railroaded at any time. You know what I mean? That's why I think the way a lot of men are moving now is warranted. At some point, they got to realize, hold on, we can't keep allowing ourselves to be in these predicaments. This is crazy, though. It really is. Thank you, Successful MD, for the support. I appreciate you. Alistair, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, wonder if Meg has something with Tory getting stabbed. Listen, I can't say that for sure, but I don't think it's a coincidence that after they was updated with this information that's being brought out now, that somehow, allegedly, he gets stabbed 14 times fighting for his life. I'm just saying, I don't think it's a coincidence. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I don't know but I don't think it was a coincidence, and that's what they're pointing out here. So they're trying to protect this man because it would be a travesty to have him go through all of this and then put him back in that prison where you know that his life is in jeopardy. And why is his life in jeopardy? He's in jail. They sentenced him to 10 years. What else can you do to him? Because this information is coming out, and now the truth is coming out, and now y'all, this is just a miscarriage of justice, in my opinion. That this, and it happens to a lot of men all the time. A woman could just say anything, and the masses believe her, and she could go on social media and cry and say, "Oh my God, this happened," and lying through your goddamn wig, lying through your wig, and then still want to try to punish the man for the truth coming out. This is crazy to me. Thank you, Alistair. I appreciate you for the super chat. This is extremely ridiculous. It is. But let's continue, y'all.
This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete. It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson.
That's crazy.
Even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense?
That's crazy.
Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again, simply not given to the defense? We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, the DNA is taken. Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate? Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed in these things, but
Right.
it was in this case.
Right.
All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction.
Because it was a setup.
It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted.
Right.
And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
Exactly. And that would be horrible. This man has a family. And his father spoke out and has been very vocal about this. I just think that this is unfortunate, y'all. And I hate to see an injustice for anyone. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's pure insanity. And and it's just, people don't have any sympathy or understanding. And look, I'm like this. Look. If you commit a crime, you need to do the time. You know what I mean? And there's no justification for people going out here doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But in the cases of where you didn't do it, there needs to be justice. This is what the system is supposed to be about. Innocent until proven guilty. And you have to, prove that something was done. And if all of the information and the evidence isn't there, you cannot just lock somebody up for something they didn't do based off of somebody's word. That's the whole point of doing an investigation. But if in the midst of the investigation, allegedly, if things aren't being done properly and there's some other ulterior motives or intent there to do something that shouldn't be done, that needs to be dealt with. So what would Meg Thee Stallion herself say after all of this? If this man, it shows clearly from the evidence that they've uncovered, which this evidence was there all along. There were people who were saying this from the beginning. People were saying free Tory a long time ago, as soon as this happened, that man did not shoot that girl, that the Kelsey girl did it, allegedly. which would make sense why she pleaded the fifth. Why now she's what is she? She's what is it, y'all? So she has immunity, right? So she asked me, why does she have immunity if she didn't do anything? Why did she plead the fifth? We all know when you plead the fifth, we know you're allegedly guilty, right? We know that. We know that when you plead the fifth, you don't want to incriminate yourself. So why she wasn't the target? So why would she have to do that if she didn't do anything? It's just logical common sense, but people don't want to use that because they have a bias and they want to just, say, oh, believe all women. She can't possibly lie. She has to tell all the truth. Come on. That's insane to me. That really is. It really is. It's insane to me. And I mean, child, and look, it's sad that we have to see this happen, but we see it happening all the time. Every situation where there's a woman crying wolf and creating a narrative, oh, she's automatically believed. She's automatically right. Oh, see, y'all don't protect black women. Well, if black women would stop lying and be honest, then maybe you would get a different outcome. But every situation, the women are automatically believed, the man is automatically guilty. This always brings me back to the Johnny Depp situation. Because if that man had not decided to defend himself, child, who knows? His career could be ruined. He would always be looked at as a villain, and she would go on and prosper and live her life getting moved. They'll reward her somehow of her bravery. You were so brave to come out and fight against this evil man. Somebody said men are under attack, and I agree. Because if you don't protect yourself as a man, oh my God, but men are looked at as these evil monsters to where women won't even trust a man. They'll trust the bear. You'll trust the bear. You don't trust the man. He's so evil. He's so this. But these women are evil as hell. When you see them wigs slide back or to the side, that's a clear indication of how evil they are. They wigs don't lie. They tell you exactly what they're about. And them edges. When that wig slide back. Those wigs and them edges tell you how evil they are, baby. How they know. When that wig slide back and them edges have dissipated or disappeared, you know the level of evil these women have within them. It don't lie. And I'm just saying, baby, listen, karma is real. And I really just think, I just hope this man is pardoned. I hope he gets out and he can tell his story. But look at the situation he's in. He has to heal and recover. This man has been stabbed up. He's been in jail for all this time. This is crazy to me. This is why I say, listen, things may not change the way we think they should, but you have to protect yourself. You have to make sure that you are protected from what could potentially be out here. When you see them wigs coming, just move to the side. Don't even look. Don't look their way. Because you can't trust them from a mile away. You see that wig down the street, move on. Because who knows? It might jump on you. Who knows? And try to do something to you. So I just, this idea, once again, it's a projection. What they are is what they project you to be. Oh, you can't trust a man. Oh, he'll do this. No, you can't trust these random ass, ratchet ass women. You can't trust them. And it's not all women. It's not all, but it's a lot of them. You can't trust them. They have ulterior motives. They get mad and they will do whatever. Will lie on you to the end, baby. And all the other ratchet ones just follow that and be like, girl, oh yeah, protect them. And then when the truth come out, let's see how many of these hyena women who was all just going with her just because. Are they going to come out and say, damn, we was wrong? Probably not. Because there no accountability. You don't know how to apologize. You don't know how to take a L. You don't know how to say, I was wrong. None of that. No apology, no accountability whatsoever. Just keep on being ratchet and keep on letting them wigs tell your truth. It's just crazy to me. And they'll take it there. They don't care. They don't care what your life, how your life ends up. They don't care. They'll try to take you out. They don't care if you live or die. They don't care what happens to you, long as they make sure that they get protected and it's all about them. That your life continue to thrive and you continue to go on and do whatever it is you want to do and just completely ruin a man's life on a whole lie. This is insane to me, y'all. It don't make sense, y'all. I'm just baffled. I don't think that it's right. I don't think it is right. And I don't think anybody should have to go through this type of anything like this. And the thing about it, if it was a woman, oh my God, everybody and your mama could understand. Oh, let's feel sorry for this woman. Oh my God. But when it's a man, nobody gives a damn. And men gotta really let that sink in. It's unfortunate, but let it sink in, because that means nobody, you don't have a group of women protesting in favor of men. You don't have a group of women who understands, good and evil. You don't have a group of women who are giving the men the benefit of the doubt. It's all just the womanhood, the sisterhood. Let's just believe the women, because men are this. Never with the consideration that, all men are not like that. So let's not put them all in that same boat. And let's not judge all men and just assume that all men are just doing the most. This is why women get away with what they get away with, because everybody's already hell bent on the fact that, the idea, not the fact, but the idea that men are just these evil creatures and they're going to hurt you in a drop of a dime. And you never consider the fact that these women could be lying and putting these men in danger. It's crazy to me. Look, we're looking at the Halle Bailey and the DDG situation. None of us really know what happened in that situation because we weren't there. But all I see in the comments is the women, oh, he did it. Oh, he's a mess and he's this. I mean, he might be a character in some ways, but does that mean he's guilty of everything that she says? And that everything that she says out of her mouth is the truth? You couldn't fathom the idea that maybe she might be lying or allegedly lying, or maybe that two things could be true. Maybe they were fighting and maybe he was holding her back from her fighting him. Y'all don't think that women do that? Well, we clearly know that women hit men all the time. They just don't report it. Can we have some logical understanding and face the fact that women can be guilty too? Women can tell lies too, because they do. That everything that happened isn't automatically the man's fault. That two things could be true at the same time. Maybe they're both toxic. But the idea is always painted that the man is so bad and he's toxic and he's this and that and she's so innocent. We gotta stop with that shit. That ain't cool. Classy Perspective, thank you for the super chat. Says those wigs and edges get into a cooked, get into a, wait a second. Those wigs and edges get into a cocked like a pistol position. You all better run. Okay, I got you. It's crazy though. Thank you, Classy Perspective. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. They get into a cock like a pistol position. You all better run, baby. Get out the way. For real. Cause they don't care. Thank you once again, Classy Perspective. I appreciate the support. Yeah, it's just crazy, y'all. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says maybe not all, but more than likely 99.99% are. It's thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate the support. We gotta do better. And that's why I say too, maybe if there's a situation where their sons are in these situations, then you're gonna fight for yours. As you should, but you got to consider that, hey, if you know that your son is not the way a woman may have portrayed him to be, don't you think that is some people in other cases too, that may be some men out here too, Every man is not out here trying to harm you and hurt you. And every man is not a horrible human being out here trying to, these men are trying to live and thrive too. They don't want to go to jail and jeopardize their livelihood. Why do y'all think that every man is in a position? Every man is a beater. Every man is a abusive person. Every man is just a horrible being. When we've seen on multiple occasions, women are the ones who are the aggressors. We've seen women put their hands on men and men won't touch them. You could just go on social media and see cases of women deleting men, beating men, hitting them. And these men don't even fight back. They call the police and they know they have to be cautious because they're going to automatically be blamed. It's crazy. Crazy as hell. See, Irving, thank you so much for the super chat. Says they'll be silent, DeeDee, when the truth comes out, right? Just like the Johnny Depp case, Jonathan Majors, quiet as a church mouse. Right. And that's sad. You can't even accept the fact that you were wrong and apologize. Accountability, apologies, accepting the truth is all like kryptonite. It hurts. It burns. It burns. It burns for these ratchet ass hyenas, as Crimson Cure would say. It burns them to tell the truth and acknowledge the fact that they was wrong about something. And then in the next situation come up, they just keep doing the same old thing, same old thing, same old. It burns. It burns. It burns them to be accountable. It burns like Reagan. In what's the name of the movie? What is the name of the movie, y'all? Shit. The Exorcist, shit. It burns. They're like Reagan in The Exorcist. They can't take it. You put the cross in front of their face and their head spin around like, no, can do. Thank you, C. Irvin. I appreciate you. C. Irvin also says, I feel there's a real lack of empathy towards men. Oh, I mean, straight up, C. Irving, straight up. And while I always have to clarify because, I'm a pick me and oh my God, all you do is bash women and, to take up for men. And so I have to clarify, listen, I'm not about just taking up for men. That's not what it is. It's about being sensible and logical enough to just state the facts and state the truth, no matter if you're a woman or a man. And this is why I could never be a part of the ratchet sisterhood, because they only want to take up for women, no matter what the situation is, whether she's right or whether she's wrong. And to me, that is overall not the right thing to do. I have sons and I have daughters. So how can I be in a position where I just say, just believe all women when I have sons? So I can't just, that would be insane to me to even fathom the idea of, I'm going to just believe all women. So believe my daughters and my sons, just throw them out to the wolves and whatever happened, they're guilty because they're men. Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm not for women or men. I'm for what is right, what makes sense, what is the truth. And for a lot of these women, unfortunately, they're not about the truth. They're about their feelings and their emotions and what they feel and what they believe and what they think without any facts, without any evidence. It's just your feelings and your feelings alone. And your feelings supposed to be the truth. The end all be all. What kind of stuff is that? I'm for what is right and what I see. Ocular proof of what is. And what I've seen over the years is that a lot of women are in denial. They hate the truth. You don't want to be held accountable. You only want to blame men for everything. You don't take accountability for yourself. You don't know how to accept things about yourself. You always want to be the victims. You always want to blame somebody else, the man, the government, the devil, the white people. You want to blame everybody for your shortcomings while continuously thinking that you're a queen and you should be held to the highest regard. And you can lie, make up shit, do whatever you want, and then people are supposed to still believe you and believe you at all costs and just act like, oh well, that's just what it is, and don't hold you to any standards, or look at you for what you are and investigate what you're saying. We supposed to just take your word and run with it, and that's it because you have a vagina? You gotta be crazy. That's insanity to me. That'll never make sense to me. No, and this is why I don't rock with no ratchet sisterhood, because it's a bunch of BS. Thank you, C. Irvin. I appreciate you. So yeah, when I get that, oh, pick me, and no, I don't give a damn about that, because the problem is a lot of these women, not all women, but a lot of these women who it applies to, they want you just to believe them, whatever they say, knowing good and how could I do that knowing good and well that I know a bunch of lying women that lie right through their teeth, and a lot of horrible women out here. Come on now. That's just out. That it wouldn't make sense to me. You got to be dumb as hell to sit up here as a grown, educated woman, as they like to call themselves, to say, "Oh yeah, all these women just believe them because men just do this, and these women are just angels and innocent." Hell to the no. That's far from the truth. There ain't no angel, heavenly angel, wig wearing bonnet crew out here who's just so perfect and got everything right. You got to be kidding me. They're not, and we know that. So there's no way in hell I could sit up here and be like, oh yeah, let's just believe all the ratchet hyena bonnet crew. Oh, they so perfect. They do everything right. Hell no. When we see y'all twerking on tables, flipping stuff, throwing shit at people, doing all kinds of stuff, and y'all the perfect individuals, and you do everything right and you're perfect. No. Blue Exodus, shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Says, if Meg was a white woman, what would the sisterhood say about this? Will DDG's situation with Bailey have the same fate? Tune in next time on Negro Z. Ciao. Ciao. Thank you for the super chat. It's crazy though. They don't even wait to get to all of the information and just jump on it. Well, he did it. Or he acted a fool on social media, so he's a bad person. You don't care about this man seeing his child. We clearly see this man loves his child, DDG. He loves his son. Oh, let's weaponize him, weaponize his child over on him. Let's take the very thing that he cares about away from him and punish him to have control. And honestly, in this whole Halle Bailey situation, that's about control, in my opinion. They go out here and they make babies with people, and then you want to have full control over the child. And so to me, it's about control. You don't want him, that you want to have, she wants full custody of the child so she can have control. She doesn't want him to leave the state of, she don't want him to leave. He can't, take the child out of Los Angeles. You don't want him to be able to do what he needs to do with his son. This is why when these children grow up and they become of age, they usually go with the fathers. Look at Tyrese's daughter. She's with him. Because they realize what it is. And they realize how their mothers have weaponized them against their fathers. And this is why these children end up favoring the fathers later on in life, because they realize what went down. And I just think this is crazy. No matter what issues y'all have, you should never try to keep this man away from his child. But a lot of these women, they want children to use it as a way to have control over the man. And this is not my first time seeing that. So it's just, I don't know. And a good point. If Megan was a white woman, they wouldn't have much to say. The same way they out here defending this big black woman statue, like this is their savior or something. We got a big black woman on Times Square. Let's celebrate, child. Being big is in. Let's celebrate. They got a big black, mean, aggressive statue on Times Square, y'all. They representing us. Let's show up and show out. Let's go down in droves. Let's get in a big van, all our big backs and squeeze in there. Let's go down to Times Square so we can stand in front of our statue and be proud. They finally recognizing us for what? Being obese? It don't make no sense. These, like I said, a lot of these educated women are not so educated. It's like the going to college just pull y'all backwards. You going backwards. You didn't really learn shit. Thank you, Blue Exodus, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Look like these degrees have made them dumber. Zookeeper, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. He says, like KS stated, it all about shame, guilt, and the need to be right. That ugly boss B masculine attitude and energy is awful. Good guys are sick and tired of hateful, argumentative women who constantly blame others. Exactly. And they don't see themselves. I say this all the time. You don't see yourself. You don't see what you're doing and how it is dangerous for society, because it's a selfish act. It's all about what I want to do, no matter what it's going to cost you or what it's going to cost anybody else. And I think that's just not a good look at all. Thank you, Zookeeper, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much for the support. Thank you. Latrell M, thank you for the super chat. Said this is why men have gone on their own way. Exactly. They don't want to deal with this, and they shouldn't. This is why I say all the time, all men, you have to protect your peace and your sanity and your livelihood and your well-being, because you just don't know. That's why I say, when you see that wig from a mile away and it look like you got an attitude, don't even act like you don't see him. Continue to act like you don't see them, because now women are even saying men don't even give them eye contact. Good. They don't deserve eye contact. For what? You don't even give them the inclination that you might be interested. No. Because they don't need it. Why would you want to subject yourself to this type of rhetoric, this type of treatment, all this stupid stuff that they're asking for? You don't know. If you can't find a woman who's gracious and understanding and cooperative and understand logical things, common sense, there's no point, because you'll find yourself in a sticky situation. Women be setting up men, lying to them, robbing them, all kinds of shit. Oh, but they're angels. Right. Thank you, Latrell. I appreciate the super chat. Town the Virgo, what's going on? How are you? Says, every time some of these women say a woman would never set a man up, when you mention the name Brian Banks, it's crickets. Well, I mean, the truth hurt once again. It's like kryptonite. It's like Reagan head spinning around in The Exorcist. How dare you give me the truth? How dare you show me situations where we've been ratchet and we lie and we try to do the most? How dare you hold us accountable, because now y'all sassy because y'all telling us about ourselves? How dare you men with the mics and this podcast equipment? How dare you podcasters hold us accountable and call out our ratchet, nasty behavior? How dare you do that? How dare you hold them accountable? How dare you bring up their truth and their insecurities and all of the things that they've done wrong? How dare you call them out while they call men out all day, every day? You can't catch a break as a man out here in these streets. Y'all are all guilty unless you do what they want you to do. There are many, many, many examples of women committing crimes toward men, lying, going to jail for it. Just doing the most. Nasty attitudes, crashing out because they didn't get their way. And these are the angels that we supposed to, these are the ones who you're just supposed to believe on GP? Hell no. Thank you, Tone the Virgo. I appreciate you. Child, it just don't make no goddamn sense. Successful MD says, sisterhood, the most deadly special unit on earth. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you once again, child. It's a mess. It really is, y'all. And it's just, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing this clip because we want to hear the rest of what they're saying. King Lemuel Podcast, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I agree not to be blind, to be blindly believe anyone. I agree to not blindly believe anyone, but I also see there are powerful people in the music industry controlling the police, judges, and the media. Megan agreed to be there too. I agree with that as well. I agree. And they're allegedly saying Rock Nation has something to do with this. Somebody mentioned also that, Tory has his publishing and he's in control of his, they don't, I mean, listen, I could say more about all of it, but we know that there are powerful and forces behind this, of course. And I think allegedly in this case, it kind of displayed that. And I think it's unfortunate, but it definitely happens. And it's sad that people have to endure this for whatever reasons, the powers that be who may be greed, or you try to do things to keep a person back for whatever, for your own gain and all this types of thing. There's a lot going on in that business. That's why I'm like, listen, I don't know, you people who are desiring to get into that business, you better tread lightly and understand that it's just not about your talent. It's not about any of that. That there's more involved that could be very detrimental to your livelihood if you don't play the ball that they want you to play. If you don't line up with what they want you to do, if they're not benefiting off of you, and you're trying to go outside of that, that's when all the problems start. It's not just about talent and they're supporting your talent. It's a whole lot of politics involved in that business, in that industry, and there's a lot of seedy things that tend to happen. And there are a lot of people who have attempted to be a part of that industry and that business, and they realized what it was about and they got out of it. That's why there are a lot of talented people that you don't ever get to see their talent because they decided, nah, I don't want to do what you asked me to do, so I'm going to bow out now. You know what I mean? Before you get too steeped in it, and then it all starts to show its rear its ugly head. So yeah, I do believe that this whole situation with Tory Lanez was more than just that. I believe, and I'm saying allegedly, that this was a setup, and I do believe that there is more to it. Why was an unknown or whatever music executive sitting in there with this girl? All that is tied into it, of course. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see. I want to get through these super chats and then we're going to finish playing the clip. See, Irving once again says, 2 things a vindictive woman does is weaponize sex and the kids. I agree, DeeDee. It's manipulation and control tactics indeed. Thank you, C. Irving, for the super chat. You absolutely right. Tone the Virgo again says, to this day, I still say Sanaa Lathan's character in The Best Man final chapter was wrong for taking the child away from her father out of the country. Thank you, Tone, once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. J-Rock says, Tory Lanez is just the beginning. Wait until the truth they tried to cover up about R. Kelly's trial comes out. Everyone who testified got immunity. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy. But I'm not shocked. Thank you, J-Rock, for the super chat. I appreciate you. I am not shocked one bit. Classic Perspective says, no eye contact, no dates, no marriages like the movie. Wait until exhale. I have a new movie, Breathe. Oh, Lord. Okay. Listen, y'all a trip. But listen, I get it. Child, y'all crazy. Thank you, Classy. I appreciate you. It's crazy. It is crazy, y'all. For real. Oh, Lord. It's just a mess. It really is. And it's sad that people don't really care. You're not going to see too many videos of women calling this out. They're in defense mode. They're looking like, oh my God, what? They're going to try to, create any and every scenario to say that, this man is lying. He really didn't see that, when they was calling this out from the beginning. East Coast Kev, thank you for the super chat, says she needs to be locked up and get the same charges he got for her lying. Exactly. I agree. I think when you lie on somebody, whatever charge, he got 10 years, she need to be in there for 10 years for lying and causing all this turmoil. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's continue the video, y'all. Here we go.
At this time, I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, media member who was working on that op-ed for the New York Post. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Good morning. Thank you for coming today. My name is Gianno Caldwell. That is spelled Gianno, Caldwell, Caldwell. I am the founder of the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety at caldwellinstitute.org. I am also a member of the press for almost a decade now. I've been looking into Daystar Peterson's case for almost 6 months now, professionally known as Tory Lanez. And after reviewing the evidence, the reporting, and the legal analysis, I've come to the conclusion that Tory Lanez was railroaded by the former district attorney, George Gascon. He was also wrongly convicted. I believe if Jesus Christ was Tory Lanez's attorney, George Gascon would do whatever in his power to ensure that Tory Lanez lost that case. Tory Lanez's defense team have alleged the withholding of exculpatory evidence, prosecutorial misconduct, among other issues that I was compelled to write an opinion piece for the New York Post. It is true that last week, the New York Post editors reached out to 3 parties, one being George Gascon, Megan Pete's team, and Kelsey Harris. It is also true that Megan's team was the only ones that responded back for that request for comment. I had some glaring questions, and that was the reason for this op-ed. Things didn't make any sense to me, many issues in this case, and I was shocked by the lack of interest from the media to ask very simple questions. There were multiple people with gunshot residue on their hands that night. Why didn't all individuals have the residue tested, their DNA tested on the weapon? That's a legitimate question. According to the prosecution, Tory was excluded from the clip of the gun, and according to Tory's defense team, they said DNA analysis showed that there was a 0.01% chance that Tory touched the actual gun itself. Another piece that stood out to me, the call that the prosecution alleged Tory made confessing to a crime. I listened to that call. I'm sure many of you have as well. I didn't hear a confession. But what really shocked me about it is if my best friend was shot maliciously by someone just 2 or 3 hours before, I wouldn't have answered the call, or if I did, I wouldn't calmly have a conversation with the individual of it. And certainly I would ask, why did you shoot my friend? And more importantly, I would never have given you my current location out of fear of you finishing the job.
Exactly.
That was something that stood out to me.
Right.
I also, in my op-ed, discussed Kelsey Harris pleading the Fifth Amendment.
Right.
She wasn't accused of anything
Exactly.
by Megan Pete or the police, and to my knowledge, she wasn't under any investigation. So why plead the Fifth? What also?
Exactly. I mean, this is common sense. I mean, anybody with a brain that's using their brain would say, hold on, wait a minute, let me listen to this. This doesn't make any sense. She gets immunity. She pleads the Fifth. We know what that means. She doesn't want to incriminate herself. Why would she incriminate herself? Because the evidence that's coming out now is saying, hey, that man never touched a gun. There was no gun residue tested on her or was not submitted. The only person they pinned it all on Tory Lanez. Let's just pin it on this ninja. Throw him in jail. We don't care. Because we're women, we're gonna get off. We're innocent, and we're innocent till proven guilty. And if they can't prove us guilty, we're gonna put it on this ninja because he's expendable. Let's just ruin his life. Who cares? That is crazy. Crazy. Just ruin his life, and we can go on and skate into the sunset and do whatever we want to do and get away with it and feel good about it. Don't have no remorse, no shame, no nothing. Crazy as hell. Let's continue.
What shocked me is the prosecution gave her immunity. For what? What did she do? Is there an allegation of her doing something? I'm not aware of that. Maybe some of you can answer that question today. During the time of trial, George Gascon just to take you back to where we were at that particular point, he had just barely won a recall attempt. He lost support in many key demographics of voters. Crime was up in Los Angeles County. And this case would have been a silver bullet for him potentially winning. His policies obviously were bad and people were harmed. So that didn't happen, and thank God it didn't happen. At the heart of this injustice is the misuse of gun enhancement charges, a sentencing tool intended for the most dangerous and violent offenders. In Tory Lanez case, these enhancements were not supported by evidence. But George Gascon, interestingly enough, who is someone who regularly would drop enhancements or not recommend them, chose to provide enhancements to Tory. And in his case, in any given situation, according to legal analysts I've spoken with, he would do 1 or 3 years if he did it without the enhancement. That's interesting. Why did George Gascon choose to pursue these enhancements? You know, there's cases I've been looking through which George Gascon has pursued, many in which he utilized these enhancements. A couple come to mind that I would like to reference here. One, Raymond Danger Gonzalez, a Mexican mafia gang member involved in a premeditated murder of 2 young men in 2017. Despite the brutality of the crime, Gascon didn't recommend enhancements. You premeditated murdered a teenager and another individual, brutal crime. Why would you recommend enhancements, but you would recommend them for Tory? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't.
He also didn't pursue sentencing enhancements for the senseless murder of General Hospital actor Johnny Victor in Los Angeles in 2024. There's a lot of issues with this case. Many I think that the media should be pursuing all angles of it. We should not allow there to be unanswered questions. We should pursue open questions without fear or favor to anyone. That includes Mr. Tory Lanez. In his letter from the Birmingham jail, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If we take those words seriously, we must act when injustice is allowed to fester in plain sight." I founded the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety after my innocent teenage brother was murdered in Chicago on June 24, 2022. I stand firmly for public safety, for victims' rights, and for holding criminals accountable. But justice also demands that we protect the innocent and stand against politically motivated prosecutions. This is what I believe to happen here. When we imprison the innocent while violent offenders walk free, which is what George Gascon has often done, we undermine the very foundation of our legal system. Mr. Peterson was never given a fair trial, free from bias, political interference, and media-driven pressure. His continued incarceration erodes public trust and diverts focus from the real work of keeping our community safe. Further, while incarcerated, Mr. Peterson was recently stabbed in prison, as many of you know, a tragic incident that underscores the urgency of this situation and the risk to his life while this case remains unaddressed. Governor Newsom, I respectfully urge you to issue a pardon for Daystar Peterson, known as Tory Lanez, in a full and impartial review of his case. California must not be a state where justice is driven by headlines instead of evidence.
Right.
And in the case of George Gascon, that was often the case. So I encourage everyone here to go to caldwellinstitute.org, CALDWELL, Institute, INSTITUTE.org, and sign the petition. This petition asks for the governor to pardon Tory Lanez. Thank you.
Listen, y'all, this is crazy. It really is. I definitely think he needs to be pardoned. I think he needs to be let out of prison, in my opinion. It to me, it's clear evidence that this man did not do this. They really didn't have enough evidence to prove that he did it. So, from the gun residue, the eyewitness statement, the driver, the body, the you know, all then the people who were there who gave testimony saying that no, this is what that didn't happen. All of this information there that's resurfaced that it's come back up to show, and then on top of that, an attempt on this man's life, to me clearly indicates that there was a concerted effort to try to set him up, lock him away, throw away the key, and to smear his name and take his livelihood away and destroy him for whatever reason. It to me clearly wasn't an attempt to do that, because if there's no real evidence proving that this man shot this woman, and people were saying this from day one. People, when all of this came out, people were saying, there are people who online who were saying this man did not do that, and the truth is going to come out. And on top of that, once again, his life was threatened. Anybody with common sense would say, damn, this is not a coincidence. Something ain't right. Whether you fully believe one way or another, you gotta say, hold on, this something is not adding up. And so, once again, I hope that this man gets his life back. It's going to be difficult. He's been stabbed up, y'all. This was not this is crazy. And people are walking around here saying, oh, he did it. And none of the evidence, and they're proving you new information, which is not that new. People, like I said, people figured this out early on. From the information that is brought up, allegedly they're saying this no gun residue was on this man's hand at all. He never touched the goddamn gun. So how did he shoot this woman? And she was adamant about, he did it, she said. So the information that's resurfaced coming up showing that he didn't do it, and if he's charges are dropped and he's let out, what happens to her? The woman who clearly said, oh, he shot me. What happens? Does anything happen to her for lying? I guess we shall see. We shall see. Calvin Bruton, thank you so much for the super chat, says, add part about this whole about this whole thing is Tory had to almost lose his life getting stabbed 14 times for guilt to come in, shaking my head. Get thee behind me, Satan. Right. He had to damn near lose his life for all of this. And thank you, Calvin. I appreciate the super chat and your comments. And yeah, it's sad that it had to get to this point. So they had to expedite this because this was something that was in the works. And because people realize, oh, damn, the truth might come out. We got to get rid of him. Because we can't have this. He's supposed to be in jail, locked away, just life thrown away. 10 years past. Oh, everybody be forgot about it. Oh, he's a non-factor now. And we gonna thrive and be done, got what we wanted and that's it. That's sad. Thank you, Calvin, for the super chat, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Please hit the like button. This is really sad. They have no evidence of this man shooting Megan, and she knows this. That's why she pleaded the fifth. Yep. I mean, come on. It's unfortunate, y'all. It's one of those things, and I don't like to get too caught up in these cases because when I see an injustice and when I see what's really happening, allegedly, but we know, I get a little hype about it because this could be anybody's son. This could be your son. This could be your brother. This could be, it could be your family member that has to go through this and you can't do anything about it. And you got to sit back and watch this occur. This man is never going to be the same. And if this is not an effort to silence him while the lies are being spewed and people are running around, living their good old lives, knowing that this was a whole lie and a whole setup, in my opinion. It's crazy to me. Classic Perspective says, if I was Tory, I would sue Los Angeles for $50 million. He needs to sue. Definitely. There needs to be a lawsuit. He needs to get out of that prison first. He needs to heal, get his mind right, and sue the piss out of them. I'm just saying. I agree, classy perspective. He definitely. Successful MD, thank you, classy perspective, says, imagine being wrongfully convicted and deleted. Oh, wow. Right. Well, you can't defend yourself and there's nobody to defend you on your behalf. That's just, oh, Lord, that's crazy. Because if that was a success, then he can't speak out. He gone. So his father and his representation, they can come out and talk about it. They could clear his name, but nothing just goes away still because he's not there to defend himself. The motive or whatever the motive was, it's completed because if he's taken away, that's it. They don't have to worry about him getting out and talking or saying anything or continuing his life. So that would still be a win for whoever or whatever was trying to set him up. Thank you, Successful MD, once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. This is crazy. Yeah, y'all, this is crazy. Listen, I had to talk about it because it's one of the things, once again, I followed this case a bit. And I could tell that something was off. When watching her testimony, watching her have interviews and talk about this, you could see the lies in the wig. The wig don't lie. You could see it. The hesitation, the this, that. The Gayle King interview, she hesitated, we know, then come back and say, oh, well, she lied. Why you lie? If you lying about that, what else would you lie about? What's the point of lying? Everybody kind of already figured that out. The viewing public is not crazy. It's just that people want to be in their emotions and feelings and just take a side. But people with logical sense see what's happening. Rogot Swag, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for the super chat. Says, if parents and society overall encourage teaching women/girls how to treat men/boys just as much as the reverse, I believe we'll be going in a better direction. Women get away with this crap too much. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think that's a problem, you see. Because once women believe or feel that they can say whatever and they're automatically going to get the benefit of the doubt and believed and even some of them rewarded because, when you go out and you get the sympathy that you want as a woman, that could lead to money in your pocket. That could lead to more exposure to you or your brand or whatever you're working on. These women are rewarded for this, for these things. You can do GoFundMe's and get thousands and thousands of dollars based on a lie. You can go out and everybody want to talk to you. Everybody feels sorry for you. You're the victim across the world. So it's a benefit to women to have this on their back if they're believed. So the minute you come out and say, cry wolf and say, oh, a man did something to you because a lot of women hate men and you want to see men penalized, you automatically jump to the conclusion that this woman is a victim when in many cases they are not. That is a major problem. And then a lot of women wonder why men don't even want to look their way. Don't want to deal with them, don't want to be in a room alone with them because they don't want to be accused of something that they didn't do. And then a lot of these women have the audacity to turn around and be like, what's wrong with them? Why are they acting this way? That part there is that is mind-boggling to me, that they have the audacity to turn around and act like you don't know why these men are moving the way they're moving. That you're so clueless and so dumbfounded by the fact that men don't want to be put in a position of being lied on, because so many women out here have done that and gotten away with it to the point where men are skeptical about what women are going to do. Because they know that they have the potential to do it now. They know that these women aren't angels. We've seen a lot of them lie with a straight face and through their wigs. We know that they lie. We know that they'll set you up in a heartbeat and don't give 2 cents about you whatsoever. Once again, would they like it if a woman did that to their brothers, to their uncles or their sons? You wouldn't like it. If somebody tried to set your son up or your brother up, you would be pissed about it. And lied on them and get away with it, you wouldn't like it, see? But I think too many women have gotten away with it, and it makes it easier for more women just to claim foul play or claim you did them something because they know that it's easy to get away with. It's insane. Thank you for the super chat once again. I appreciate you. No consequences, exactly. No consequences. Just do it, whatever. In fact, we're gonna get you a podcast. We're gonna let you come out and talk about how victimized you was, and how bad you feel, and throw up some fake tears and start crying, and get every woman on your side. Because when you get all these ratchet hyenas on your side, you win. Oh, they'll donate. Look at that lady who claimed all these men threw a brick at her, the brick lady. Oh, they jumped on that. Oh, these men, this is what they do. No, and they never had a man to hit them with a brick or do anything like that. But that's just the assumption. Oh, these men will do this and do that. And knowing that in a lot of cases, that's not true. You know, a lot of these women have been in relationships with a man who've never touched them. But they touched him. Push him upside his head, slap him on his head, knock the shit out of him, throw things at him. They know they've done that before, so they know what they would do. So they assume a man would do it back. Projection, once again. All of it is a projection. You know how you are and how ratchet you are, so you assume that because you're that way, that men are like that too. It's just what it is. You assume every man would do that because y'all know y'all do it. If you didn't have that mentality and you didn't think like that and you didn't do that, you wouldn't assume every man would do that to you. Of course, we all got common sense, as we should all have common sense. You understand that, hey, there are men who would knock the shit out of you. And there are men who won't touch you, even if you touch them. People with logical understanding and sense understand that there's good and bad all over. There are men and women who don't act like this and don't behave horribly. And there are women and men who will. So you got to understand, you can't lump everybody in and just assume all going to do this. And all. No, you understand that there are some who will and some who won't. But if you yourself is in the bunch of the ones who would, of course you're going to think the other side is like you. Because you've been in and you've encountered a bunch of women like you. You know that the women that you hang around, they all put their hands on a man. You know they'll fight men. Women have acknowledged it. Now, there are women who have actually said, yeah, they'll hit their man. But if he hit her, it's a problem. But you don't see the problem with you putting your hands on a man. Because you're entitled to that as a woman. You're entitled to assault a man. And you be damned if he defend himself. He respond back to your assaults. Oh, now he's the problem. And see, this is why it's a catch-22 for men, and it's a problem for men because I think y'all damned if you do, damned if you don't. And to me, as much as I'm for marriage and relationships and love to see it, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. Just like I would tell anybody, women, men, whoever, you have to protect yourself. As women who are out here and they might have some psychotic dudes or psychotic anybody, because it's not just men, there's psychotic women out here who will come for you too. So you got to protect yourself. Be cautious of your environment and who you're around. That's for women and men, not just women. But all we hear is women protect yourselves and men don't protect. Oh, you don't want to be on an island with a man. Well, damn, you don't want to be on an island with another woman either. Because she just might jack you up if she don't like you. We've seen instances where women have assaulted other women and deleted them. We've seen that, set them up many a times. So this whole sisterhood is not what they think it is. They got a problem with men and they got a problem with women. If you look too good, if you got too much going on for yourself, oh my God, be weary of the sisterhood because they may come for you too. So I don't understand it. I mean, I really don't. I really don't. So everybody got to protect themselves, you know. And so I just think that men in particular have to, because these women, you can't trust them, baby. They own some other shit, and you know, and you just can't be like, oh, all trusting of everything that they do, and oh my God, they do no harm. That you're setting yourself up for failure when you do that, in my opinion. I'm just saying, setting yourself up for failure when you just trust anybody and believe that, oh, they just got your best interest at heart. No, no, you have to really proceed with caution, especially with these types of women, because they're not out here trying to do the right things, but always insinuating and saying that all the men are the problem. No, you can't trust them, baby. You can't trust them. XYZ says they're demonic, child. They're demonic. There's something going on, and I just think it needs to constantly be called out, because you can't ever drop the ball. You can't ever believe that you can just trust everybody and they just, you know, women, and you know, they all angels, because they are not, and they do lie. They're not all telling the truth. Just like anybody can lie, they're a part of that. It ain't just men that lie. Women lie. A lot of people lie. It's not just men, and you know, whatever. You just gotta protect yourself. That's all I can say. So listen, I really just hope, I'm gonna be watching this case, y'all. I just wanted to bring this up. I also posted a video of this on my channel. Make sure you guys check that out as well. Go over, watch that video, like it, thumbs it up, all that good stuff. Because I just think that we need to talk about these instances, and we not brush them under the rug, because it's a real thing. And it's unfortunate that we have this divide when it comes to women and men. But what else can you do? Are you supposed to continuously subject yourself to women like this and this type of behavior? You have to really be cautious. You got to protect yourself. You got to have cameras. I don't care if you put them in your car, put them in your house, put them everywhere to prove your innocence, because you know, if you're in a situation where it's dealing with a woman and she's lying on you, you are going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to protect yourself, because society does not look at men as innocent. They look at men as the victim and women as the innocent butterflies. That you know, oh my God, it has to be true. He had to punch her in the face, even though there's no bruise, there's no nothing, no blood, no bust head or nothing. But he punched her in the face. If a man punch you directly in your head, you might have a bruise. But oh, no bruise. That he punched you in the face, he slammed you to the ground, he drug you and everything. You have nothing on you to show for that. Oh, but he did it. Let's just believe her. Because how dare you not believe her? She could never lie. That's crazy. Max Lau says, keep receipts keep every receipt, record audio, video, whatever you can. Do things in the public viewing. Don't be caught alone till you know this person well enough, because you never know what they might try to keep text messages, everything. They record you. You record them too till you know it's safe. Record them too. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of men don't do these things because they don't feel the need to, or they don't think it's manly. I don't know. Or they don't feel the need to do it, or they just don't think they should, or maybe that seems whack to do that. I don't know. But in the end, it'll help you out. Nobody can just accuse you of something because you have all the receipts, you have the evidence. That's sad that y'all got to move like that, but in order to protect yourself, that's what you should be doing. At least in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Latrell, thank you for the super chat, says men better start wearing a body cam. Hell, child, there's cameras on your glasses, cameras on your lapel pins, and cameras everywhere. Thank you, Latrell. I appreciate you. Do something, or just stay the hell away. You stay away, that would be, they can't put nothing on you if you're not around. But if you out here trying, you still want companionship or whatever, you got to protect yourself. Don't just go out here without anything thinking that it's safe, because it's not. Clearly it's not. Get your Kroger receipts, Walmart paid, and so yeah, it's unfortunate, y'all, but that's what it is. You can't no longer this ain't back in the day where you could just you think women are innocent. No, they have exposed their hand. We talked about this before. They've exposed who they are, at least the ratchet ones that are left out here. They've exposed what they after, what they trying to do. They all trying to get to the bag. They want you to just pay them, and if you're not willing to do it, they're gonna find a way to get them coins out of you. They're gonna find a way. And to me, this doesn't only affect rich men, it affects all men. If you date somebody and they think you got a little money, they're going to try to get it out you. They're going to try to get it out you in any way that they can. So you really gotta you really gotta pay attention, be mindful of what's going on, and be diligent and not afraid to walk away when you see the buffoonery. When you see the foolishness happening, remove yourself, but still be ready to protect yourself. Because a lot of times when you walk away from these mad hyenas, the Bonnet crew, oh, they'll start trying to make up stuff on you. Oh, I'll do this. If you listen to these women tell their stories about the worst things that they've ever done to a man, it shows you right there what they're capable of. Women have literally made up false allegations of a man taking advantage of his child. I don't know if you guys have seen that. These women are confessing the things that they've done, made up stories so that because she was mad at him, made up that he was abusing his child, and called CPS and gave them that false information and had CPS show up at this man's door with claims of him abusing his child. And she made this up. And if that doesn't scream, you need to be in jail, I don't know what does. That's why I'm saying I know too much, I see too much, and I can't defend it. That's crazy to me. Make up false allegations that this man was touching his child and reported it to CPS. I say CPS, child. CPS. And had this man have to, either he lost his job or had to take off of work to go defend himself, go to court, prove that he's not abusing his child. She just made it all up. And so you can't convince me that I'm supposed to just sit here and believe everything you say just on GP. For general purposes, I'm supposed to sit here and just say, okay, you said that, that's the truth. Are you kidding me? And there's nothing that's done about that. No jail time for lying, no nothing. Messing with this man's livelihood, he could have lost his child over a lie. Because the system is automatically set up to believe what a woman says. That's crazy to me. That's insane. It's really not a laughing matter. It's really sad. It's really sad. I have sons and I couldn't imagine. That's why I tell my sons, listen, y'all be careful out here. You need to understand the type of chicks that are out here. You need to understand when you see that type of chick, leave her alone. Because it's dangerous. Zookeeper, thank you for the super chat, says, I think people who stay in trouble with others have mental issues or they are cursed from doing any better. Well, it's definitely a mental issue for sure. It's definitely a mental issue. I mean, I wouldn't deny that. It's definitely something going on mentally that they have. That's why I say a lot of these people are walking around unchecked, have childhood trauma that they haven't resolved. They have issues they've never taken care of, and they out here acting it out. And they spaz out, go crazy, tear up your shit, hit on you, lie on you, and all of that because it's definitely a mental issue. I will say that. Thank you once again for the super chat, Zookeeper. I appreciate you. Divine Photos. What's going on, Divine Photos? Thank you for the super chat. Says, isn't it kind of weird as soon as Tory got stabbed, then the next day, the bodyguard just say Tory didn't do it? Well, he said, listen, because think about it. I mean, if you know the truth and you seeing what this person is going through, either you got a conscience or something, maybe you realize, but they're saying this information was they already had this information, but they're trying to expedite it and put it out. They were going to go through the process, which would take a little longer. But in light of him being stabbed in jail, they brought it forward quicker because of what's happening. So I think they had this information and it was going to let it play out the way it needed to play out in the time frame that it needs to play out. But in light or in lieu of him being, his life being attempted, then they're saying, oh, we need to expedite this because look what's happening. So I just think, and this information is not really new, actually. We've heard the bodyguard, whoever, and the bystanders say this. We've heard this, but it's like they ignored all of that. We've heard them say they saw two girls tussling or whatever. They didn't, this already was really out there. But it's like they looked over and then glossed over and said, oh, no, we're going to throw him in jail for it. We're going to pin it on him. He did it. And ain't nobody going to believe otherwise, Thank you, Divine Photos. I appreciate you. Kenneth Cole, thank you for the super chat. Says America is anti-black men. Thank you for the super chat, Kenneth. I appreciate you. I mean, hell. What else? I can't argue with that. Because we see what happens and how it goes down. And pro Bonnet Crew. Pro Bonnet Crew. Of course it was all out there. Rock Nation set this up. People been saying that too. People been saying all of this. No, all of this information really is not new. People, they saw this ahead of time. That's why it's like everybody was saying free Tory, because they already knew. There are people who already knew. They were already saying that the truth is going to come out. That man didn't do it. But everybody want to believe it and just run with the narrative, child. This is sad, though. It's unfortunate. I hope he gets better and he's well. Get out, tell his story, sue them, the whole nine. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. That's somebody's son. You know what I'm saying? Like this, damn, it's just, it's just crazy. So I guess we'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see how this unfolds, what happens with this. This is crazy. This is crazy. And this guy, this is a strong individual, in my opinion. For him to have to go through all of this, have his life attempted to be taken away and all of this, and he's still holding on. He's still thriving. I know they wish they could have just ended it, but it didn't happen that way. I'm sure this man did not, shank him up for him to live. I'm sure that wasn't the intention. He was trying to take him out. You know what I'm saying? Divine Photo says, DeeDee, did you hear Tina Knowles revealed she decided to divorce her husband after waking up one day, realizing she deserved so much more? I did hear that. I did hear that. It's it don't matter how old you get. It's the same narrative. You could be 85 years old and single and saying that same old shit and telling these younger girls, oh yeah, I just got a feeling one day and God spoke to me and told me my husband is no longer my husband. It's time to go. That's the kind of stuff they hear. Thank you, Divine Photos. Yeah, I heard it. And I just shook my head then. Okay. But when she did, but at one point, they broke up and she got back with him. And then, I guess, she woke up, like you said, like I heard her say it, talking to Oprah. She deserved better. Deserved better from who and where? And then she gets remarried. And that doesn't work. Which I think the man filed for divorce, if I'm not mistaken. Probably couldn't deal with her, even at that age. It never goes away. It is what it is. They're going to have that to the end. That mentality is going to be there forever. Thank you, Divine Photos. Krista Fex says, notice how all the equality feminists are silent. Thank you, ex Christopher child. You know, sometimes I just be like, what are you gonna do? You know, it is not gonna get any better. This is why I say the only thing I can say is protect yourself, protect your freedom, protect your peace, your life, your livelihood, child. It's sad, but it's just what it is. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. You know, they pick and choose when they want to say something. You know, it's sad. It's just a mentality, and they gonna all be around here walking around like goddamn zombies with them wigs on, confused. The glue from the wigs is gonna prank, you know, poison their brains and have them walking around in confusion, wondering what's happening. Oh, you know, they gonna all be chanting together, wondering what happened, with the wigs glued down, no hair at all, no hairline whatsoever. Just glue them on to the back of their skull, still running around saying, I will not settle, I will not settle. I will not settle. I deserve better. I deserve better. I will not settle. Old as hell, walking around with bald heads with the wigs at the back, still holding on to the lace. Like, we need to stay here. We won't settle. We won't settle. We deserve better. Ain't not a man in sight trying to get with any of them. When that lace front gets to the back of your skull, because you ain't got no other hair to glue it to, and you still walking around talking about you won't settle, baby, ain't no man trying to settle with you. Ain't no man gonna want to settle with y'all once y'all get to that point. Hell, they already saying 30 is too old. So if these men are saying 30 is too old, what the hell you think you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old ladies talking about, I will not settle. I'm not selling. I deserve the best. You about to be out of here. What do you mean? Too late for you. Ain't no settling. You done that boat done sailed. That ship done sailed, honey. Ain't nobody trying to sell it with you. That ship been sailed away. You do not. They gonna. I have options. Really? Where? Where, girl? What options you got? The old men don't want you. The young men don't want you. The lesbians don't want you. The studs don't want you. So settle for what? You better go and figure out and enjoy the last days of your lives. You better go enjoy that and stop talking about you will not settle with the wig hanging on by a thread. Come on now. And then they keep gluing these damn wigs on, and you're gonna glue it on your bald head, and then your bald head is gonna be ate up. That glue is eating your scalp, draining your brain cells. And the only thing y'all gonna notice, I will not settle, still gonna be saying that. I'm telling you. They still gonna be saying, I will not settle at 80. I deserve better. And walking around just chanting that shit over and over and over. That's all you know. That's all you gonna know. And everybody, and the men wasting Wales pride in other countries, marrying other women saying, poor things. We so sad. We always wanted a black woman, but they couldn't settle. And look at them now. They lost in the head. The wig juice, brain juice, and drained out the wigs and drained all the sense out their heads. They have no other recourse. They lost in the mind because nobody really wants them. The jobs and went away. The degrees don't matter. I got a PhD, but guess what? I will not settle. You ain't got no job in sight. You're on Social Security, if that's available. You're sitting back somewhere still thinking that you're the prize because, you know, they get old and they still think they 20. Perpetually stuck in a 20-year-old mindset like you got all these options and opportunities in the world, and I will not settle and realize you are old hag and your days are numbered, and you still thinking somebody is out here checking for you. You got to be out of your goddamn mind. This is the direction that it's headed into. But because you're mentally unstable and you're stuck, which I call it, what it is, I forget what it's called, child. When you're stuck in a child's brain, you're stuck in a young woman's mindset. In your mind, you're 25, hot and just available. But in real life, you look 80 years old, bald head, wig at the back of your brain, lost in the sauce, sitting here dried up, thinking that you're the prize. Still saying you will not settle to the end. Arrested Development. Thank you, Max Loudhouse. Yes, Arrested Development. I mean, we got to assume that's what it's going to be, because no matter how old, we see 60-year-olds, damn near 70-year-olds still saying they will not settle. Take me shopping, because I need a man to understand who. And yeah, he understands who and what you are. You're an old broad with no options. He understands who and what you are. Your ass is old and you ain't got no options. They've been ran out a long time ago. These men ain't checking for you. So now you still, see, 60, 70. I need a man to understand who and what I am and what I bring to the table and not be intimidated by who and what intimidated. Who's intimidated by an old lady? And hell, I'm not scared of getting old. It's a blessing to get old, okay? Because if you don't want to get old, that means you want to die. And if you don't want to die, that means you want to get old. I want to get old, but I understand what that means. And I understand as I get older, I shouldn't be out here at 60 and 70 years old talking like that. I need a man who understands who and what I am and not be intimidated by what? Because you got a goddamn job? Why would men be intimidated by you having a job and taking care of yourself? Huh? Shit, everybody got to work. Why would he be intimidated by you going to work? No, that's a false narrative that they've created to make themselves feel good and to make men feel like they owe them something. And men got to cater to them because, oh, she's special because she got a job. No, you're not special because you got a job. Shit, that's your job. You work. Just like everybody else got a job and have to work. What that doesn't make you special. And it makes them entitled, see? All these degrees and all this money makes them entitled. So they feel like they're better. They feel like, oh, I got to cater to her and I got to bow down to her. Ain't nobody bowing. This ain't the goddamn this ain't the 1800s. This ain't nobody on you ain't no goddamn, I don't know what you call it. You ain't nobody bowing down to nothing. Who's bowing down to you? No man don't supposed to be bowing down to no goddamn ratchet old ass hyena bonnet crew. Wearing chicks? Why do they think that? Nobody is bowing down to you. Nobody's running behind you and doing all this stuff. It doesn't benefit them to do that. They don't have to, a man doesn't have to be obsessed with you. For what? It's just getting out of hand and I see it. But they see it too, and now they realizing it's not benefiting them. Oh, men aren't obsessed with women like they used to. You damn right, because they realize that's not what they should be doing. And a lot of women are mad about it. You're mad about it. Obsessed? No. Ooh, I swallowed hard. Ooh, Lord, hold on. Obsessed with you. Obsessed. They're not obsessed with us. Men aren't like they used to because the women aren't like they used to, baby. Y'all are entitled, bonnet wearing hyenas with this entitled attitude, mindset that men should be running behind you and your wigs. And while you keep running in the other direction, they need to chase you. We like the chase just to keep telling them no and friend zoning them. No, y'all play games, not a games to caught up with you. How they say play silly games, you win silly prizes. And now y'all realizing the silly prizes that you get. And these men ain't running behind y'all asses. They shouldn't. A man ain't running behind you for what? And what you offering them? He ain't running behind no old cat. Ran through cat with all these goddamn children by all these different daddies and y'all think y'all could slap a wig on it and a onesie with your ass out and they supposed to be like, oh yeah, we gonna take her. Ooh, let's run behind it, y'all. Oh my God, she's so fine. Look at her. Big cat, all these kids, and oh, she got a wig. She looks so good. Let's go get her. No. Damn, men ain't impressed by that. And then you got him in your phone as what Trey was telling me the other day. Had the man in the phone as cheesy bread. And she got you in her goddamn phone as cheesy bread. And then another man in her phone as rent. And car notes. And that's what y'all supposed to run behind and give all your money to a wig wearing hyena with a bonnet on top? Make it make sense. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says they have wigor mortis, child. They are old and silly. Wigor mortis, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to use that. Thank you, Successful MD. Latrell says their tombstone's gonna say, "I will not settle." Right, might as well get prepared. Or she didn't settle. You know what I'm saying? That would be on. She didn't settle to the end. That's what they're gonna have. Oh, and they think that that's a flex. You didn't settle. I died alone. It was my choice. Don't come for me. That's what it should say. She didn't settle, died alone. It was my choice. I did it by choice. Child, it don't make no sense. Thank you, Latrell. Successful MD says Timu wigs must come equipped with crack and meth. They putting something in the damn wigs because it don't add up. It ain't making no sense, y'all. Thank you, Successful MD. It don't make no sense. Hell. It really don't. It really don't. Zookeeper, thank you for the super chat. Says that ratchet crew sits around smoking that reefer too. That's got their minds on a high that does not exist. Better watch how high you get. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Smoking and the smoke going into the wigs and attacking their brains. I'm just saying. You know. Thank you, Zookeeper. I appreciate you. It's just crazy though. But that's where they headed though. In my opinion, that's where they're headed. They're headed right for that. 60, 70 years old, you will not settle. Okay, cool. I did it all by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't need no man. Rest in peace. What's what they call them? Pukisha MD Wright. Pukisha MD Wright did not settle. I didn't need no man. Rest in peace. She did not settle at the end. I did it all by myself. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Like, come on now. Y'all feel good about that, but then at the same, rest in peace, Bonquisha, M. Night. I wanted a man, but I don't need him. Rest in peace. By choice. You know, some shit like that. I'm like, come on now. You go to the end. To the end with them selfish mindsets, entitled behavior, just, entitled. Thinking everybody and their mama owe you something without you ever putting anything in. I gave my all to this ninja and he just took me for granted and he messed over my life. Yeah. I got 2 babies by him and he don't do shit for none of them, but I gave him the world. And he didn't want to work. He didn't want to do shit. He just messed me over and now all men are trash. But when you met him, was he, material? Was he looking for a relationship, Bonquisha? Bonquisha, did he want to be? Was he faithful to just you? Was he a one woman's man, or did he have baby mamas? Did he have 2, 3 baby mamas when you met him, Bonquisha? He did, but hell, I thought I was gonna be the one, right? So did he show you, Bonquisha, that he was gonna be faithful? And was he the faithful type of man, or was he, a hood dude? Was he in the hood where you reside, where y'all met each other in the same hood, and you knew he had 3 baby mamas, and you still made him, you became the 4th baby mama? So what is it about him, Boquisha, that told you that he was going to be stable and he was going to be a one woman's man and he was going to be committed to you? What qualities did he have, Boquisha, to make you think that he was going to be just for you and he's going to give you a better life and he's going to work with you since you gave him the world? Oh, you let him drive your car. He dropped you off at work. You had a job, Boquisha, at the local hotel. You had a job. A job is a job, by the way. But you had a job. You going to work. You had a place to stay, Bonquisha. And you knew you was attracted to him. He looked good. Ooh, you wanted to be with him. But you didn't care about his character. He probably was smoking that reefer and you was smoking him with him because y'all was vibing and he was your cup of tea. He turned you on. So y'all smoking that reefer together, doing it together, right? We together, breaking each other off, and he had 3 baby mamas. He wasn't really taking care of those kids. She would show up. Why you come get your goddamn kids? And you ain't taking it. And who is this B? And this and that. That's how it go. You won't fight the girls, but you don't want to question his behavior and what he's really about. He's like, I ain't trying to hear all that. It is what it is. You won't be with me or not. That's how they be. And then she's like, yeah, I want to be with you, but we got to get this together. There's no qualities in there that he displayed that told you he's going to be a man that's going to work with you and y'all build something together and create a family together, because he already created broken homes. And you decided, oh no, this is going to be my ride or die. I'm going to be with him because I love him. And I'm attracted to him. This is my type, right? So you're trying to be optimistic about it, Bonquisha, but he's not. He's still dipping in and doing it with the exes. And you know it because you end up trying to fight them mad when you find out when she called you and tell you, girl, he was over here last night. What you gonna do? Well, instead of you questioning him and trying to, realizing this is not, no, you go give him another baby. You make yourself the 5th baby mama, and you give him a baby thinking that when he see the baby come out of your cooch, that all of a sudden he's going to be like, oh, she the one. I'm going to take this baby mama seriously. Oh, this one here is the one. Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to make her my wife, and we're going to be together. Screw all the other baby mamas because she's the one. You think that's what's going to happen. You give him the baby, then you give him another baby. And then you realize after you've given the babies, oh, he ain't shit. You realize after you gave him the babies, all of a sudden he just changed. He was all good until I had them 2 kids, and now he's a piece of shit. Like, come on now. Y'all, this is too common. And I mean, it just doesn't, there's no explanation for it. Anybody with some common sense could see this. You ain't got to go to college to see how this plays out. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over and over again. We keep seeing, oh, well, after I had 5 babies, he changed. Which one did he change at? Did he change at number 1, number 2, number 3? You waited till you had 5, and then he all of a sudden just flipped up, switched it up. Like, what? We got to stop with these lies. Bonquisha? It doesn't add up. But they're telling you the truth. But justifying it at the same time. You pick the wrong man, give what you consider your all to him, and he has nothing for you. And once he finally move on, or you move on, now you expect the most from a responsible, good man who has qualities, or has, he has some qualities, he has some standards, and he also wants certain qualities and standards from a woman, and you don't measure up to the standards and the qualities that he's looking for in a woman. But all of a sudden now he's bad. He's sassy. Oh, he's sassy because he wants something in a woman that you don't have, because you're only used to dealing with Pookies. Pookisha, Quanisha. You got to do better. That's it. And it is what it is. It's like no accountability, and it's hurting our communities. It's hurting these very individuals who act this way. And everybody want to just say, oh, this you're slamming the community. No, they're doing it to themselves. You're doing it to yourself. You're not moving in the way that you should, and you're hurting yourself. We just calling it out. And they get mad at people calling it out, but you don't get mad at the behavior. You don't get mad at the ones who are creating this behavior and setting themselves up for failure, and you and your kids. So yeah, it's time to stop coddling the behavior and addressing it, and hopefully they could change it, because it's not helping. It is not helping at all. I'm just saying. It is not helping. So we got to get it together. Well, they got to get it together, because it's not, you don't want to be 60 years old still talking about you would not settle. That is not cute. If you couldn't settle with somebody all those years, you might as well wrap it up. Stop saying that and move on and just enjoy the rest of your life. Because if you couldn't settle early on, you ain't gonna settle now. And it's not because you can't. You at first you choose not to, but then there's a point where you don't have a choice, because ain't nobody trying to be with you, period. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about, oh, you will not settle. It's about, you can't settle at this point. The lucid experience, thank you for the super chat, says, soon as I said the gun could possibly be Megan's, a dude hit my DM and said, quick Google manosphere fake fact. They are so quick to shame men. Right. Exactly. Thank you, the lucid experience. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's just crazy, y'all. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's just unfortunately, I don't see it getting any better. I just think it's getting worse. And once again, people go to the grave with what they believe and with lies and everything. And that's just how I think this will just be that way. You're going to go to the grave, not settling, thinking that you're the prize, thinking that you're the best thing since sliced bread, and everybody owes you something, and there's no man good for you. That's that's good enough for you. Same way with, what's her name? What is her name? Tracy Ellis Ross. She believes she's a special type of woman. She don't believe that there's a good enough man out there for her. She thinks that she's a unicorn. And, but she's fooling with younger men, because those are the only men who will just fool with her. And that's all they're doing. They're not taking her seriously. They're having a good time with her, and they're keeping it moving. And that's it. And if to be a damn near 60-year-old woman still out here playing games like that, it's just shocking to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just shocking to me. You know what I mean? And everybody has the right to do whatever it is that they want to do with their lives. Of course, you can do whatever you want, choose to do what you want. That's your business. But at the same day, you put your business out there, we can have an opinion on it, because otherwise we wouldn't know what you're doing. If you don't put your business on Front Street, we'd have no clue what's going on with you. We wouldn't have nothing to say about it. But if you put it out there, yeah, in this a social media age, people are going to have opinions about the things that they see. And that's just what it is. You don't have to like it. So I just, it is what it is. Black women are being mocked with the statue in Times Square, and they don't even know. Well, and I did a video on that too. We talked about it in a live stream, but I also did a video on it as well, because which that'll be on the channel shortly as well. You got these big broads coming out saying that statue represents them, and they're mad that people are calling it out and trying to shame people to say, oh, y'all got a problem with plus size people. No. If anything, if you are overweight or you should have a problem with being a plus size woman, because it's not healthy. It's not healthy. They don't understand that that's a mockery, but they'll eventually get it. They'll eventually get it. They'll get it at some point, hopefully. So yeah, this was just crazy. I wanted to just get my thoughts on it. I also posted a video on the channel. Go check that out. I want to play another clip for y'all. I'm gonna get off here in a minute, y'all. I'm not gonna have a panel, because I'm gonna be on a panel today. It's Ali's channel. I don't know if y'all know Ali Ilkhan. I don't know how you pronounce his first name, Ali, but I'll be on a panel at 5 o'clock today. 5 Eastern time today. So I'll be on that panel today. So I'm not gonna right after this live, I'll be on their panel. And they start up at 5 o'clock. Ali's. I don't know if y'all know Ali. If y'all do, I don't. That's all I know him by. But I'll be on their panel, so I'm not gonna keep y'all too long today. But I want to go ahead and pull up this other story. I do have another clip that I want to share with y'all briefly. And hopefully if I'm back tomorrow, we'll do a panel tomorrow, which is originally the day, Friday is when I like to do the panel. So hopefully I'll be back tomorrow, you guys, possibly 1 o'clock. I'm trying to get them in a little earlier, the usual time actually. And I will, open the panel on tomorrow. All right. So make sure you guys are prepared for that. Please, y'all try to get y'all audio together. And also make sure you cam up, because we have to cam up. I would prefer that people cam up. It just makes it a better look for the channel. And make sure that your audio is good and working, so we don't have those issues. Just make sure you guys do that. That's very helpful. But I want to pull up something else that was brought to my attention, and I want to know your thoughts on this briefly, and then I'm gonna be out of here.
You're gonna claim that a man is the father of your.
Hold on. So this was very interesting. This video is circulating.
You're gonna claim that a man is the father of your child. You better be sure, because the courts will indict you for paternity fraud. This woman name is Laura Owens. If you don't know her, she accused a former Bachelor contestant named Clayton Eckers of being the father of her child. Not just her child, her twin children. When he didn't believe that she was pregnant and definitely didn't want any parts in her pregnancy, she decided to open a paternity lawsuit against him to prove that he is the father and to get orders that he actually participates in her pregnancy, and she asked for child support. Clayton never believed that she was pregnant, and he definitely did not think that he was the father, because he said that he never actually had intercourse with her to result in having a child. Laura's story changed up multiple times, and eventually she decided to drop the lawsuit because the judge was starting to get an inclination that she was lying, and Laura was never able to actually prove that she was pregnant. She said that she had a miscarriage, and she wanted to drop the lawsuit. Clayton was like, oh no, we are not dropping this lawsuit, and decided to take it to court to prove that she was never pregnant. And I know that Clayton is happy that he did this, because Laura just got indicted on criminal charges for paternity fraud. Essentially, she lied to both Clayton and the courts, telling them that she was pregnant and she really wasn't. Now, I know some people think they can just shame men into being the father of their child, but she was not able to pull this over Clayton's eyes or the court eyes, and now she's facing criminal charges.
As she should. As she should. They need to lock her up and throw away the key. Because this is crazy. I agree that mandatory DNA tests need to be done at birth of the child. I think that should be done. And if they can do it before the child is born, is there some way they can get the blood? Do it that way. I think that needs to become a mandatory thing, because I think we see way too many paternity fraud cases where women are lying. And in this case, this woman pretended to be pregnant and trying to get the most out of this man when she was clearly lying. So there should be charges brought up on these women to force them to stop lying. That's like with all these cases, they're always lying and getting, because they know they can get away with it. But once they realize that they can go to jail for this, that it's going to be taken seriously, that there is really going to be accountability, they're going to stop lying. Stop the lying. Because as long as they can lie and get away with it and play sympathy and use the sympathy card, they're going to keep doing it. And they do it with ease. They don't have no care in the world of how this is going to affect you. Once again, it's just the lies. Now, once again, I think that these things are becoming more evident these days, and more cases of this is coming out, as it should. Because too much is put on men for their misconduct and them lying and them messing up. But for women, it's not non-existent. And that is not a fair and equal society. And women, fought for equality and all this, but now you don't want equality. You want control. You want an advantage. You want to get ahead. You want to be better than men. You want to do things that men can. You want to get away with stuff. That's not equality. And so I certainly say lock them up, because if you're going to lie on somebody like that and try to get over, you need, just as if a man did it, you want him locked up. So the same should apply to you. There should be no difference in the laws because it's a woman versus a man. It should be the equal amount of time, equal pressure, equal sentencing, equal everything. Why is it different for women when they're committing when you're doing the same crimes? So yeah, I say there needs to be more of that. They need to be held accountable. Where else I don't understand it? How? Oh my God. I just think that this is crazy. But once again, like we said, with any case, you see women lie, nothing happens. They just get to walk off. Amber Heard just walked off. She lied on this man, lied to the judges, lied in court, lied to everybody, and just walk off. You know, she don't no penalties or charges on her. But a man don't get that opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? He's held accountable if he's lied on. He's held accountable if the truth comes out. He's still, oh, there's no apology. There's nothing. Just whatever. We jeopardize your livelihood. All right, we lied. Oops, our bad, and just walk off. So definitely there needs to be some accountability. There needs to be mandatory DNA testing so this won't be happening. You'll know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And they can't lie in your face about it. So yeah, I think definitely they need to be held accountable for this. No, just like anybody else, man, anybody else. Everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions. I'm just saying. So let's see, they want slaves to pay their bills. They need to face the same jail time the men will receive if they were actually slander. Needs to be a punishable offense. I agree. You are not the father. Shout out to Mari Povich. Right. Diddy is one man. Rico, that is unheard of. That's crazy. Yeah, all of this is crazy, y'all. And changes are coming, but it's coming kind of slow in my opinion, but I think there definitely needs to be some changes. And we gotta, just gotta do better, especially as women, as people in this society. And I think, we all need to be held accountable for our mistakes and choices or whatever we choose to do. But I think women have not been on the equal playing field. And I think it's time for that to happen. If you go out here, you commit a crime, you need to do the time. If you lie on somebody, there needs to be consequences for that, especially when it affects their lives directly in a negative way. You need to be held accountable for that. You got to understand that you can't go out here and just do whatever it is you want and you just get a pat on the wrist and keep it moving when others are being punished for their poor choices or whatever, or bad choices. They're actually being held accountable when a lot of these women haven't been in the past. So I think, yeah, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to set a standard. You got to let these people know they just can't get away with anything because they have a vagina, and that, oh, you can just lie on people and make shit up, and, oh, well, they're just going to say, oh, well, whatever, okay, and automatically believe you without going through the proper channels to get the evidence and see what it actually is. And then when you find out that they're lying, there needs to be consequences, point blank and a period. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody who gave super chats and cash apps. Everybody who hit the like button, I appreciate you for that. Shout out to y'all for your commentary, for everything that you do to support the channel. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Hopefully I will be back tomorrow with a panel if you want to join. Make sure you are cammed up. Make sure your audio is good, and you can definitely join the panel on tomorrow. Also, if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell to be so that you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. All right. So I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all stay tuned for more. I have more content coming out. Make sure you are watching the videos on the channel, y'all. That is super important. Let's get the likes and the numbers up on the videos that are already posted. That will help the channel as well. That is free to do. So make sure you go at least watch the video, hit the like button. That definitely helps your girl out. Thank y'all for the support. I appreciate you once again. I will be on a live panel today at 5 p.m. It's Ali's panel. That's all I know. I've known him from being on Lapeef. I think Lapeef platform. I don't know if y'all are familiar with him. Are y'all familiar with Ali and Fatty? I think his name Fatty. I will be on their panel today at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with them, but if y'all can catch me on there, catch me on there. Let's see. Wait a minute. What did I see here? I don't know. 5 p.m. Eastern, which will be it's like 4 p.m. my time, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. So yeah, I will be on there, and hopefully I'll be back here tomorrow live at again the same time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all. So make sure you guys be prepared to join me on tomorrow with your thoughts and concerns and all of that in the chat. And I appreciate y'all for that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all once again for being here. Y'all be safe until next time. I love you guys. Be safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Mwah.